A man dropped the bills he was holding into a teacup, waiting until they were completely soaked before pulling them out with satisfaction. He then unfolded the bills, and in an instant, the brand new notes transformed into worn ones. They proceeded to toss all their cash into the tea, then fished the bills out and hung them on a clothesline, using a hairdryer to dry them one by one. The money in their hands was all freshly printed counterfeit cash. Compared to new bills, old ones attracted less attention. To test the quality of their fake bills, the two men walked into a store. Nick handed one of the counterfeit notes over, but to his dismay, the shopkeeper paused after taking the money. Panic set in for Nick. Seeing something was off, John rushed forward and snatched the bill from the shopkeeper's hand. Thankfully, they managed to slip into an alley amidst the chaos and escape. Nick had thought that printing money would be easy. He never expected his counterfeit bills would be recognized so quickly. John, looking at the fake money in his hand, began to think. They had made a fundamental mistake from the start. Indian currency was made from a special kind of cotton paper, which felt entirely different from regular wood pulp paper, and it had a unique, crisp sound. Additionally, the ink used on the bills changed color at different angles, and there were also security threads embedded in the notes. To create higher quality counterfeit bills, they needed to tackle these issues. For high-quality counterfeits, all the designs on the currency had to be hand-drawn. Even the most precise scanning devices would produce a moire pattern with the microprinting on the notes. Therefore, they had to hand-draw the original design, scale it down for engraving, and then polish and chemically treat it to complete a template for printing money. However, because the cotton paper was strictly controlled by the Indian government, they had no chance of purchasing it. Instead, they had to look for a substitute with a similar texture. After several days of searching, John finally found a glimmer of hope in an advertisement booklet. He immediately shared this new discovery with Nick. They realized that by layering two pieces of paper together, not only would the texture feel remarkably similar, the thickness would also match perfectly. All they had to do was bleach the paper, print on each side separately, punch holes in the front for the security thread, and finally glue the layers together. This created a perfect sandwich structure for their counterfeit bill. With the paper issue solved, they moved on to the next challenge, the color-changing ink. This time, Nick had an idea. He mixed metallic paint and ink he bought from the store to create a color-shifting effect that was convincing enough to fool anyone. Then, he applied a layer of varnish to make the bills crisp. Finally, they needed that finishing touch. To test the quality of their new counterfeit money, they returned to the street-side shop. This time, they were smarter. To avoid getting caught again, they held hands for a quick escape. As John handed over the money, his heart began to race.